Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video, we're going to break down 10 mistakes first-timers make at Walt Disney World. As you'll see, there's so much that goes into planning a Disney vacation. There's so many moving parts, and that's why we wanted to create this video, just to make sure you are as prepared as possible for your next Disney trip. And these are just some of the most common things that we see giving guests difficulties going into that Disney trip. I'm really excited for this video. Let's go get started. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, we're about to break down the 10 mistakes that first timers make at Walt Disney World, and we're going to jump right in. We're going to start with number 1, work our way up to 10 because we just like to do things different on every video around here. Starting with number 1, we would say not booking a hotel early enough. This is such an important part of planning a Disney trip, is picking the correct hotel and picking the hotel that works best for your family's size and budget. And we would say that the Disney hotels move so quick, and you'll see there's so much information. There's Facebook groups, there's online chats about Disney and just planning a Disney World trip, and everyone is on top of their game, I would say, or learning quickly that you have to be on top of your game when it comes to planning that trip. And when the hotels release, people go and they grab them quickly. A lot of times what will happen, especially going into the holiday season, is families will start to think, oh, it's August or September, let me start planning for November and December. And unfortunately, by that time, your hotel is booked up. The other thing that many families might not realize is for an official Disney World vacation package that you can book through, let's say the Park Prodigy or another Disney vacation planner, you only have to put $200 down to hold that room. And at that point, you're pretty much guaranteed that that's your vacation package, and you can work with a travel planner to make payments and you get it paid in full before the 30-day mark. So again, you could see that there's no benefit to waiting, and it might be more affordable than you think to make sure you grab that vacation package and you grab that Disney World room that you want. Okay, moving on to number 2, and we would say not making Disney dining reservations. Now, Disney dining is a hot commodity, and reservations for restaurants are very, very hard to come by, even at that 60-day window of your trip. So we would say make sure that you make your Disney dining reservations, especially if you want them at that 60-day mark. And then also taking it one step further, one of the other mistakes that we see is sometimes families, once they don't get that reservation right away, they'll just give up. But there's a couple ways that you can make sure that you kind of give yourself the best chance. The easiest way is to just keep looking. Especially what we find is families will grab as many reservations as they think they need, but you have to cancel that reservation within 24 hours in order to essentially avoid a cancellation fee. It's $10 per person. What will happen is as you get closer to your trip, within let's say 7 days away from your trip, everyone's doing the same thing. Everyone's finalizing their plans and saying, I don't need this dining reservation anymore. I can cancel this one. And you'll see that reservations will start to pop up. Now, I can't guarantee that it will be at the restaurant you want, but I can guarantee that this is a common thing and that people are going to be canceling their reservations that they're not going to use as they get closer. So just continue to refresh, continue to look, see if you can grab that Disney dining reservation. Another thing that we have is we actually have a free tool. So it's free. You can get one scraper. Even if you don't buy from us, if you're not our clients actually get to use the scraper unlimited for free. What it does is you tell the scraper what restaurant you want, the day you want it, and it will go and continue to check for you and then send you an email and a text if that dining reservation does become available so that you can go and grab it. The other thing I will say is many families don't know that Disney actually has same-day walk-up dining now. Now, on the My Disney Experience app, you have to be at the parks and it has to be the same day, but you'll see it actually says now on the Disney Dining Reservation app. And that's going to show you all of the Disney restaurants that are taking walk-ups, and you can pretty much just join through the app. And we actually have a full video on that just because we thought that was so cool. But again, you could see these are just make sure that you are prepared for the dining aspect of your trip, especially if dining is very, very important to your family, as we know it is important definitely important to my family. So, I know it's important to a lot of families as well. Okay, moving on to number 3, and we would say make sure you understand Epcot and understand that Epcot has 2 entrances. Now, Epcot has International Gateway, which is outside right next to the Disney Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach Club, and the Swan and Dolphin. And then also there is the front entrance of the park. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons, but let's stick with the back entrance, International Gateway. Now, the new Disney Skyliner will actually drop you off in International Gateway at the back of the park. And of course, the Disney Skyliner is now connected to Pop Century, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, and the Riviera. So you could see right there, I think we just mentioned 6 or 7 hotels that are now connected or really going to be bringing guests to and from the parks at Epcot through the back of International Gateway. And of course, this is also important for guests who are park hopping over from Hollywood Studios who do decide to take the Disney Skyliner over to Epcot, because again, if you're game planning and you're trying to figure out like, hey, what's the quickest way over to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, then yeah, you want to take the Skyliner because the French Pavilion is over in the back of the park closer to the International Gateway. And of course, if you know that you're taking the buses and you're going to be dropped off in the front of the park, that would just might have a different game plan on how you strategize your day. Okay, moving on to number 4, and we would say just getting a park hopper ticket just because someone told you that you needed to get a park hopper ticket. Now, what we'll say is the park hopper ticket is not the right fit for every family. And I actually spent time working for Disney. I sold tickets at the Magic Kingdom Park, and I know the questions that I would ask, and I know this just from firsthand experience that it's important to really give some thought to what is your ideal day? What are you looking to get out of your Disney trip? And really, if you want to park hop, because it's important to understand too, the dynamics of Walt Disney World, let's say compared to Universal Orlando. And it's not like Universal, if you're comparing the two, where Universal, you could just walk from one park over to the other, and that's considered park hopping. Disney, like we said, you have to get on a Skyliner or a bus or a boat. There's more that goes into transitioning from one park over to another. And I think that's important for a lot of families to understand, especially families with small kids. It just might not be the best fit for you. On the flip side, of course, if you have the family where you tons of energy and you're like, hey, Mike, we're only here for 3 days, we want to do absolutely everything. Well, then yes, of course, if you're there for 3 days, there's 4 parks, right? Then you have to do the park hopper. We would just say to give some thought to it, because of course, it is more money. So you always just want to kind of make sure that you're not overspending for no reason. The other thing I will say too is Disney doesn't really market it, but you can always add that park hopper option later on. Now, of course, it is going to be like an additional step, but with that being said, if you're unsure, if you're on the fence, then just go with the base ticket because you can always upgrade later on. Okay, so moving on to number 5, and this is an important one, especially for families who are visiting, let's say during the off-peak season or during the time of year when we have the special events such as Halloween and Christmas. And we would say keep an eye on park hours. And this is important for a couple of reasons, but the most important is we just want to make sure that you are, getting the most out of your trip. During the off-peak time of year, the parks might close a little bit earlier, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing, because we always say that it kind of outweighs itself, where, less crowded. So even though you don't have as many hours as during, let's say, the summertime, but you're getting on more rides because there's just less people in the parks. Taking it one step further, we would say this is really, really important for those special event seasons, specifically over at Magic Kingdom Park, because if there's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, the Magic Kingdom will close at 6 p.m. Also, the important thing to keep in mind is there's no regular fireworks show that night. You do need a special event ticket if you want to stay and enjoy any sort of fireworks. So that's important if you are planning and fireworks are important for your group. You need to make sure that you are going to be in the park when it is open until a little bit later at night for those fireworks. Okay, moving on to number 6, and we would say not making your park reservations early enough. Now, this is one of the newest things at Walt Disney World, where even though you buy a Disney ticket, you do need to make a Disney park reservation. And we've talked about this a couple times. We would just say to just make those reservations as soon as possible, because there's really no benefit to waiting, especially if you bought your tickets or you booked your vacation package. And we have instructions in everything we send to our clients. Just, hey, just jump on. Here's the process. Just link your tickets or link your package and just make those reservations, because what you'll see is that once they go, they kind of go, and the park will be full. The other important thing to keep in mind is if you do, let's say, buy that park hopper ticket, you only need to make your reservation for the first park that you're going to start in. You don't need a reservation for whichever park you're going to park hop over to. So that's actually also sometimes what will happen is if you are planning a last minute trip, families will, they'll call us and they'll say like, hey, do you have any Magic Kingdom Park reservations? Unfortunately, we won't. If the reservations are full, the reservations are full. But what you can do is you could upgrade to a park hopper ticket, start your morning at one of the other Disney parks, and then park hop over to a park that might be full after 2 o'clock. Okay, so moving on to number 7, the mistakes that first timers make at Walt Disney World. And the Run Disney fan in me loves this one. And we would say just not preparing your body for a Disney vacation. And as you'll see, there is a ton of walking that goes into a Disney World trip. Usually you're going to be around 20,000 steps per day. Not only 20,000 steps, but 20,000 steps in the Florida heat. So, and I don't care how good of shape you're in, that could be a very, very significant change from your regular, workout routine or just your your regular routine in general, right? So what we would say is before your Disney trip, get the whole family, start going on some walks at night. Just get prepared for your trip. Not only that, make sure you stay hydrated. Drink tons of water on your Disney trip. The Florida heat is no joke, and it is very, very important to stay as hydrated as possible. Okay, so moving on to number 8, and we would say don't overlook the Epcot festivals. Now, some of the things that guests might not realize about Walt Disney World is that there is actually so much more going on in the parks outside of just, rides, right? And character meet and greets. There's so much cool stuff that Disney does throughout the year. We've spoken about the Mickey's Very Merry and the Mickey's Not So Scary, but we wanted to give a huge shout out to the Epcot festivals. We have the Epcot Festival of the Arts, we have the Food and Wine Festival, we have the International Flower and Garden Festival, and we have Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. Now, all of them bring something so unique and interesting into the parks, right? Or into Epcot, really. And that's why we wanted to just make sure, like, hey, if any of what I just said sounds interesting to you, if you have, an artist or someone who's really into Broadway shows in your group, then you want to go and check out the International Art Festival, right? If you have someone who's culinary and they foodie and they love everything about food and wine, of course, you need to go. But again, these are just some of the little things that I think a lot of guests might not realize how much cool stuff is going on. Specifically, we would say don't overlook the Epcot International Festivals. All right, number 9, and we would say make sure that you are prepared for your Disney Genie Plus, or if you figure out if Disney Genie Plus is the right fit for you. And this is important for a few reasons, and for guests who might not know, the new Disney Genie Plus has replaced that old Fast Pass system. Now, the Disney Genie Plus is a paid to skip the line service, and at this point in time, it is going to cost between $15 to $25 per person per day. The other important thing that we think it's important is, hey, you might realize and you might say, Mike, I definitely want the Genie Plus, right? But did you know that you need to wake up at 7 a.m. every morning to make your first Disney Genie Plus reservation, right? And they can go quick. They can sell out. It's kind of the same thing as the reservations as well. Unfortunately, they're kind of booked up. That's why it's important to understand, hey, is the Disney Genie Plus the right fit for you? And then which rides you get to target and which you need like a priority list. Which rides you're going to target, what time you're going to target them, all that good stuff. Okay, and kind of tying into number 10, and we would say once you know if you have the Disney Genie Plus coming into your trip or if you want to upgrade, make sure that you have a plan going into your days at Walt Disney World. And as you could see, there's a lot that goes into planning a Disney World trip. A Disney World vacation is very, very expensive. There is no getting around that. So our biggest thing is, hey, just be as prepared as possible. Put the work in before your trip. You can even team up with a company like the Park Prodigy, but just make sure that you have a ride priority list. Make sure that you have a daily park plan going into your day that essentially tells you what to do and when to do it. Because not only will this just make sure that it allows you to get on that many more rides, but also it's going to take the stress of getting to that park in the Florida heat when there's, it is crowded. It's just going to take that stress away because you'll be able to just know, like, hey, I have this plan. You stick to the plan. And of course, if the plan kind of gets sidetracked, no problem. But at least you are even that much more prepared, and you kind of, you're that much more aware of the different rides and your options and just everything going into your Disney trip, and you won't be overwhelmed when you get there. And that really is the main goal. That was the whole goal of us putting together this video. I do hope that you found this video helpful. And like I said, if you are in the process of planning a Disney World vacation and you do need a little additional help, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. Or if you found this video helpful, just be sure to subscribe to our channel, as we do have a lot more similar videos coming out in the coming weeks about how to plan an amazing Disney vacation. I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.